Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Aftermath here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host here, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about piece of fucking shit anti-gun cunt Michael Bloomberg literally trying to buy off Statehouses again, and by that, what I mean is this asshole is quite literally trying to fund elections the state he does not live in right now. And I don't understand how this is not considered election interference at this point in history, because the guy is literally trying to buy people off in multiple states. That's what it is right now, dude. It makes absolutely zero sense how he's able to fund these elections at all. Obviously, what he's doing is he's funding candidates in multiple different states right now, just like he did in the last several election cycles. And again, it's like, at what point is this considered to be a form of bribery, a form of election interference or something else? Because it should be right now. Like, the fact that, like, okay, here's the thing, right? It would be one thing, because we're going to talk about what the actual article is here, and it would be one thing entirely if Michael Bloomberg's bitch ass said, hey, I'm going to go fund a bunch of candidates in the state of New York, where he lives, like, where he resides, you know? And he's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pledge, you know, $45 million to elections of people in this state is what it is, right? That's not what he's doing, though. What this fucking son of a bitch, cock-sucking motherfucker, anti-gun, fucking hypocrite cunt is actually doing is he is pledging $45 million to candidates in 8 other states that are not New York. Why the fuck is he still walking free, dude? Why the fuck is this billionaire pedophile, which, by the way, this guy is a fucking child molester 100%, Michael Bloomberg is. Why the fuck is this asshole still walking free when there's literally more than enough evidence to prove that his mom's demand action bitches here in Ohio 3 fucking years ago bribed off Democrats on camera? At least one anyway, in Allison Russo's ass. Where they literally handed her this big fat envelope full of cash on camera at a House Oversight Committee hearing back in May of 2021. Which I've talked about ad nauseum since then, because apparently nobody wants to fucking listen to it and do anything about it. And it's not like he's not bribed other people too. I mean, hell, there was a state senator down in Florida some years back now who literally talked about taking bribes from Bloomberg to push anti-gunner shit, dude. Seriously, why is this man still able to walk free to this day and not sitting in a fucking prison cell for the rest of his worthless ass, old ass life is what it is, dude? It just blows me away, honestly. It pisses me the fuck off, dude, is what it is. Anyway, it says political armor every town, so-called for gun safety. Gun regulation group funded by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg plans to spend $45 million over the coming months to elect, quote, favored candidates in 8 of the states that could determine control of the House, White House, House, Senate, and local offices. By the way, for those who don't know, what Bloomberg loves to do, and this is exactly why parents need to be the only ones that are actually in control of school boards in this country, because this asswipe right here loves to fucking get people, a bunch of these anti-gunner cunts from Moms Demand Action, etc., dude, and Students Demand Action, all these other fucking, you know, anti-gun orgs he created and funds what it is there. What he loves to do is he loves to take people that are 20s, 30s, whatever the case be there, have no kids, have no ties to this country really whatsoever beyond themselves, and their whole aspect is to be a bunch of anti-gun pricks. And so what he does is he finds local school board races, or he has them find local school board races, and he states what it is there. And he's like, okay, how much money do you need for the race? And they're just like, oh, you know, just like $75,000 or something like that, or $50,000, whatever it is there to win the race outright is what it'd be then. He's like, okay, here you go. Here's a check for that much money. And that's what this fucking son of a bitch does. He loves to get these people in at that local level there is what it is. So they can then springboard from school board up to like state house or state senate or something like that in the next election cycle. And that's exactly how you've had people like Allison Russo become a thing here in Ohio. It's how you've had pieces of shit like Bride Rose Sweeney, how you've had fuckers like Casey Weinstein, how you've had literally anti-gun cunts like Cecil Thomas being on fucking Bloomberg's payroll for decades now as an ex-cop. And that's the entire problem right now, dude. And that's exactly why the state of Ohio is so corrupt, is because pieces of shit like Bloomberg being allowed to fund my fucking state candidates instead of it being only money from my fucking state. And that's the biggest problem right now entirely, dude. And that's something that's bothered me for decades now is what it is in my life, dude. Is why the fuck do we allow out-of-state funding for in-state races? even for like federal races for that matter, dude. The only funding that should be coming to a candidate is people in the state that they fucking live in and represent is what it is. If you're going to be going to California to get out-of-state funding like a piece of shit Sheriff Brown's done for decades now is what it is, dude. No, get the fuck out of the U.S. Senate, cocksucker. You're done here. And the same thing with everything else for that matter. The only caveat I would say would be president at that point, because you'd be controlling the entire country, right? But the entire point of that is, though, like, you're talking about like a house, like a federal House race for the U.S. Congress, or you're talking about like a federal Senate race for the U.S. Senate. Like, no, you should not be allowed to get outside funding outside of your own state is what it is, dude. And if you do, guess what? You're out of the fucking race. It'd be that simple, honestly, dude. It'd be like some election interference. Fuck off. Because you're trying to get funding other places that's obviously not going to be from your home state is what it would be then. And that's exactly what the son of a bitch did all across this fucking country now. He's trying to fund candidates in 8 different states to push his bullshit anti-gun agenda, dude. It's exactly how he went to Oregon a couple years ago now and did that 114 shit at the where he had all of his little fucking anti-gun pieces of shit on college campuses collecting signatures and stuff like that to get on the ballot. There's what it is. And somebody figured it out. It was like $1.62 per signature is what they actually paid people off with. Like, not physically, but that's what he ended up paying. Like, him and Giffords together paid out like X amount of dollars to basically get the fundraising campaign and stuff going. There's what it is. And overall, it worked out to about $1.62 or $1.64 or something like that per person that were paid off to, more or less. They weren't actually paid off, but it was like the money that was paid for the signature gatherings. I'm trying to say there, people that were actually paid to go gather signatures. What it was there, at the tune of like $1.61 per person or something like that's what it was. So, and that's why you have those judges now in Oregon being like, no, fuck you, this is unconstitutional. Eat a dick, Bloomberg. Which is what judges need to do there in Massachusetts with the most recent anti-gun bullshit that the fucking piece of shit governor there is signing into place and stuff. And then you have the asshole Speaker of the House there in Massachusetts, this Ron guy, bitching and moaning about, like, it's an honor to get sued by the NRA. It's like, yeah, they should be suing you by fucking name at this point, cocksucker, and take every goddamn dollar you have right now. And that's another thing that pisses me off, by the way, going back to the lawfare stuff in this country. This message, and I said this on X yesterday, I'll say it again right now, this message goes out to every major pro-gun organization in this country, whether it be GOA, whether it be FPC, whether it be the NRA, whatever the case be, dude. If you're going to file lawsuits, stop filing them against the states, dude, and start filing them directly against the people doing this shit. Start filing them against the governors of these states. Start filing them against the AGs of these states. Start filing them against the Speaker of the Houses of these states. Start filing them against members of the General Assembly that are pushing these anti-gun bills through the fucking legislatures is what it is, dude. And name their asses in the fucking lawsuits. Literally, get the fucking names of every single Democrat that pushed these anti-gun bills through, dude, and put their asses to fucking task and sue their asses individually is what it is then. And if that means opening up 150 different lawsuits against these fucking people, so fucking be it then. Because I guarantee you, they're not going to have the fucking finances to fight that shit in court, dude. And they're going to be fucking penniless when you take them for every damn dime they have when you bankrupt their asses is what it is, dude. And I guarantee you the first one or two you start bankrupting at that point and taking every dollar they have of their own fucking private money is what it is then, dude. That's when the shit's going to fucking stop real quick. When you bankrupt the first governor, when you bankrupt the first fucking AG, etc., by name, in an actual lawfare, that's when the fucking anti-gunner bullshit stops, dude. When it hits them right in the fucking pocketbook. And then just keep doing it is what it is. If they want to keep fucking around, they're going to fucking find out what it is then. I'd personally do it right now, but I don't have the funds to do it right now is the problem, dude. I'm just a guy here in Ohio who has $0 in my fucking coffers currently. I'm like piece of shit billionaire Bloomberg. And that's another thing too, by the way. How the fuck has Bloomberg not been sued into oblivion at this point, dude? Like, you cannot tell me this guy has not done enough shit to where he shouldn't have like at least 1,000 different lawsuits against him currently, dude. For funding anti-gun shit, for pushing anti-gun shit, etc. For literally bribing people. Like, that's another thing too. Why is there not RICO Act cases against Michael Bloomberg currently, dude? And then you realize it's because these fucking rhino sacks of shit, these neocon fuckers that are currently in power, won't do their goddamn job to actually push the fucking lawsuits like they need to, dude. They won't do their job to actually have this son of a bitch arrested on the fucking charges of shit that he's doing is what it is, dude. And it's either because they don't care or because they possibly are bribed too, for that matter. And if they actually did something, it would out their bribery from somebody else what it is then, most likely. So, anyway. Continuing on with Bloomberg's bullshit with $45 million, it said effort will include a new student organizing drive with plans to hire 30 new organizers for volunteer recruitment drives at 32 colleges and universities in Arizona, California, Michigan, Minnesota, North Carolina, New York, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. By the way, I love how they say that, by the way. Plans to hire 30 new organizers for volunteer recruitment drives. And that's exactly the bullshit fucking doublespeak these assholes love to do, dude. These fucking paid moms man action cunts. They love to be like, I'm a volunteer for Michael Bloomberg's Moms Man Action. It's like, no, you're not. You are a fucking paid employee, bitch. Anyways, as group's leaders said, the effort will focus on younger voters, voters of color, and suburban women with new field offices in Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, which all, by the way, all need to be shut the fuck down and raided. It says, quote, with mega Republicans pushing an extreme guns everywhere agenda, this election is life or death moment, so every town is going all out to mobilize the majority of Americans who want to live free from the fear of gun violence, claimed fuckface John Finbelt, the president of every town, said in a statement. By the way, dipshit, it's not gun violence, it's gang violence, you fucking clown. And what you assholes never want to admit is it's actually usually black-on-black murder in this country. I'll say it like it fucking is, motherfuckers. Because that's what it fucking is. It's literally black-on-black people doing crime against each other in many cases, and sometimes you have the fallout of other races for that matter. Quite literally. That's weird. I'll tell you what, man. Those people are fucking. So that was my pharmacy calling me to tell me that my shit was coming or whatever. Dude, it already came like an hour and a half ago. I literally have it in the fridge right now. And they're sitting there telling me on the fucking phone call, they're like, oh, it's on its way. It's like, no, it's not, dude. It's already in my fucking fridge because I picked it out of off the back stoop like an hour and a half ago. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking people, man. Need to get their shit together for real. It's stupid is what it is. Anyway, fuck was I saying then? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Bloomberg. So what this guy loves to do is he loves to sit there and fund bullshit. And then the real issue is that they're never actually admitting the truth of what the problem is, dude. And it is fucking gangbangers in this country. It's people that will sit there and do harm to others that don't give a fuck about society is what it is. It's like the other day you had those, it was supposed to be a backpack giveaway. And I believe it was Rochester, New York or whatever there. And you quite literally had people, it was like two black females that had gotten into it with each other and started like fist fighting each other for some retarded ass reason or another. And then from there, it basically turned into a giant shit show where you had some asshole pull a gun out and start capping people. And there was at least like 6 people shot, one was killed, everybody's calling it a mass shooting, which is not, by the way. It's fucking hood violence is what it is. It's literally gang violence, it's ghetto violence is what it actually should be considered at this point, dude. So, it's gangbanger bullshit is what it actually turns out to be. You know? And I remember, by the way, they used to call these things shooting sprees, which is what they really are at this point, honestly, dude. It was never gang, it was never fucking, you know, quote-unquote mass shootings and stuff. I'm going to turn the light on for a minute here. So I'll be back momentarily. That's what it is. But no, it has absolutely nothing to do with guns and everything to do with fucking culture in this country. And about 95% of this shit. And then that's why you have these assholes like Bloomberg who will sit there and push everything as a fucking mass shooting when in most cases it's literally fucking ghetto-ass pieces of shit in these hoods at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, going and shooting up somebody, rival drug gangs, whatever the hell it is there. And then they're like, oh, but this is a school shooting because it happened like a block from a school. Oh, it's fucking not. Or it's like the same bullshit that every town in Mamas and Man love to push, that whole 0 to 19 years old for children. And it's like, no, you're talking about 18 and 19-year-old adults that are, in most cases, multi-time felons and 100% criminals in this country. And then the ones that aren't already convicted felons are like 16 and 17-year-old gangbanging pieces of shit, dude, in many cases. And that's a problem in of itself right there. Sorry, a second glass of apple juice. Kind of want to get off my beard. Make sure it's not interfering with anything there. Anyway. Yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude, is what it is. It's a bunch of lies is what it really comes down to being. And again, it's blue to push this anti-gun narrative, when in reality, there is no fucking gun violence problem in this country. What there is there's a piece of shit named Michael Bloomberg, who is a fucking Nazi wannabe Hitler piece of fucking garbage, who is definitely a fucking child molester, who wants to strip everybody and anybody of their right to defend themselves versus his fucking tyranny. And that's why he's pushing a bunch of tyrants into power. That's why he's funding a bunch of tyranny across the board right now. That's why you have like 8 different people in the Ohio Statehouse right now that all have direct ties to having their campaigns funded by Bloomberg's ass. And again, it's like, why is this being allowed? Why is this fucking asshole being allowed to fund outside races outside the state he lives in, dude? It's fucking bullshit is what it is. So, anyway. Continuing on with the BS lies of Bloomberg's fucking proxies here, like that John asshole. Said, from sending Vice President Harris to the Oval Office to helping our own volunteers win office, we'll elect gun sense champions up and down the ballot. It's not gun sense, you fucking idiot. It's oath-breaking cunts who are directly defying their sworn oath of office should they actually get in there, asswipe, to defend the Second Amendment. And again, how the hell is oath-breaking in this country not a fucking federal felony at this point in time in history, dude? And I'm not talking about just like a regular, hey, you're going to go to jail for the next 10 years of your life. No, I'm talking about, hey, your ass is fucking swinging from a goddamn gallows for fucking high treason, bitches. Because that's what it needs to be anymore, dude. Like, seriously, I've talked about this many times before. I'll talk about it right now. When you have people who are putting anti-gun legislation, that should be their final seconds in office at that point. Like, as soon as they fucking put their name as a co-sponsor or primary sponsor or something like that, it should be done forever. It should be immediate arrests for deprivation of rights under color of law, which should be a felony nationwide at this point now. And it should be, at minimum, 20 years imprisonment. Not 10 years, 20 years. At which time, after that 2 decades in prison, they can never hold office ever again in this country, is what it is then. Because we actually did stuff like that, these so-called gun sense champions, nothing more than idiots is what it is, dude. Let's call it like it fucking is. Let's call a fucking spade a goddamn spade at this point. It's these sacks of shit who are trying to steal your gun rights and mine. It's a bunch of shit, dude. Anyway, it says, Bloomberg, along with the grassroots networks. No, you're not grassroots, assholes. Literally. Let's look up the actual term grassroots and see what actually comes up as a definition for it. Most basic level of an activity or organization, ordinary people regarded as the main body of an organization's membership, which is not what fucking every town is. It is paid motherfuckers, dude. Literally paid people, dude. Whether it be Mamas to Man Action, whether it be Students to Man Action, etc. And of course, those jerk-offs endorsed piece of shit Harris last week. Fucking cunt Mala herself. Here we go. So it's about 80% of the 45 million will go to television and digital advertising, according to a person familiar with the spending who spoke on the condition of amnesty because they were not authorized to speak publicly. So probably this same douchebag over here is my guess that works for Everytown. And see, that's the problem, right? Because they're creating fake jobs at that point. So you're taking roughly, let's go ahead and drop it down to $40 billion right now. They're taking roughly $32 billion and pissing it away in fucking TV ad buys, digital advertising, etc. That's going to be gone for like a week or two before these elections, maybe a month or so, depending. And then those jobs are going to be gone completely, is what it is. This is the fucking problem with political races entirely in this country, dude. And especially political races funded by fucking literal Nazi sacks of shit like Bloomberg, dude. Which I can say other things about that guy would probably get his channel banned, like how the dude is actually starting with a Z and ending with a T. And it has an ionist in it, because that's what that motherfucker actually is. So... yeah. Yep, Bloomberg is definitely a ZJ dude. I'll leave it at that. Just like that fucker Soros, who helped the Nazis literally fucking kill a bunch of Jews. Anyway, this full list of candidates that the money will support will be determined over the coming weeks. Some of the money is expected to support local candidates Everytown has recruited through its Demand a Seat program, aka anti-gunner program, which encourages activists and survivors of gun violence from public office. Basically what they're saying is terrorists, leftist terrorists, and anti-gun cunts to run for fucking public office, dude. And by the way, these are the last assholes who need to be anywhere near a fucking seat of power in this country, dude. Because what they're going to do is they're going to be like, oh, I'm so scared of the guns. Let me go ahead and steal all the gun rights from everybody now. Actually wanted to do something good for this country, dude. What he would do is he'd actually fund people that are going to clamp down on fucking criminals in this country. He would actually fund DAs and stuff like that crosses that are actually going to do their job and enforce current laws on the books right now that would deal with the fucking criminals who are doing all this so-called gun violence is what it is. No, instead he's going to try and steal everyday Americans' gun rights is what it is. That's the entire point of Mom's main action. That's not Pursuit's main action. It's the entire point of Everytown, dude. Is they want a disarmament tyranny regime where these fucking pedophile fucks are armed to the teeth with their armed-ass guards, being the biggest hypocrites of all, by the way, because they have armed guards and not actually defending themselves with a firearm, because Bloomberg's such a fucking pussy-ass bitch faggot, is what it is, and I'll call him like it is, dude. He's a fucking homo, is what it is. So, but yeah, it's a bunch of shit is what it is, dude. You know, it says Bloomberg, one of the biggest donors of Democrat policies, gave $19 million this year to Future Forward, a super PAC supporting Kamala, and nearly $1 million to the coordinated Democrat presidential campaign, which at the time was supporting Biden before he left the presidential race. Bloomberg remains a donor to Everytown, but the group also raises money from its so-called grassroots efforts. Bullshit, dude. No, what it does is it money launders like a mother. That's the thing, too. Again, Frank LaRose, Dave Yost, every other Secretary of State and AG in this country right now, dude. Fucking investigate Everytown for money laundering the same way they do with Act Blue, dude. You cannot sit there and tell me that Everytown is not doing the same exact shit Act Blue's been doing, dude. Where it's fucking money laundering, where it's all kinds of RICO Act shit at that point. Like, bring these fucking cocksuckers up on RICO Act charges, dude, for real. Put their asses away forever is what it is. Start with Michael Bloomberg's bitch ass. And then we got this one. Everytown announced a $60 million spending plan before the 2020 election aimed at defeating President Trump and electing more Democrats to support gun regulations, a.k.a. gun control is what they mean. Fucking clown asses. Oh, by the way, there was a federal judge the other day that admitted that, no, you cannot put an age restriction on gun rights, you dickheads. Nor should you be allowed to. That is an old Taurus, by the way. I think that might be a Millennium series. That's now a G2C is what it would be then. Either that's the 849, one of the two. It's interesting the way that safety engages on that one is very similar to the way that the TX22 safety is engaged now. So, there's St. Paul, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, who, by the way, is a literal Antifa fuckboy and BLM terrorist in this country. This fucking sack of dog shit right here, who, by the way, was a congressman, and the seat he used to hold is now held by that sack of fucking garbage Ilhan Omar, a literal Islamic terrorist, is asking federal police court to reconsider a decision to allow 18 to 20-year-olds to publicly carry a firearm in the state. Said piece of shit Ellison on Tuesday asked for the entire 8th Circuit Court of Appeals to rehear the case after a 3-judge panel unanimously ruled against the state of Minnesota on July 16th. Says, quote, the public safety benefits to banning open carry from people under the age of 21 are clear, Ellison claimed on Tuesday. No, they're fucking not, you prick. What's clear is that you're a fucking oath-breaking tyrant cunt bitch, dude. That's what's fucking clear, Keith Ellison, that you're a fucking literal Antifa and BLM terrorist piece of shit. You shouldn't even be in office at this point, asshole. That's what's fucking clear, buddy. Because you're an oath-breaking asswipe is what it is, dude. Which, by the way, later today I might do an Oathbreakers episode about that fucking cunt Mazahirino for pushing gun control and a hearing about Trump's attempted assassination the other day. We'll talk about a couple other anti-gunners at that point, like Jessica Pepper, some bitch who's trying to run for a state rep seat in Missouri on an anti-gun platform. Probably one of Bloomberg's many fucking paid puppets, I guess, at this point. And then there's a couple others, too, as well. Mark Kelly's bitch-ass anti-gun fuck for a while now, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so if the court doesn't grant a rehearing, adults under 21 can start applying for a Minnesota permit to carry 7 days after the denial. It says, but there are other routes Ellison could take to push that back, including taking the case to the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah, good fucking luck with that, asshole. So they post on X, the platform from known as Twitter, Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, one of the gun rights groups in the lawsuit, called the appeal a further delay that deprives 18 to 20-year-old adults of exercising their right to keep and bear arms. And that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this is exactly why deprivation of rights under color of law needs to be a death penalty sentence, people. Why is Keith Ellison still walking free and being allowed to be the AG in Minnesota right now when this motherfucker should be sitting in a federal prison cell right now awaiting the death penalty for deprivation of laws? What it is, dude. When you were trying to deprive millions and millions of Americans their right to keep and bear arms in this country, no, your ass is just forfeited at that point. End of fucking story entirely. But that's the problem right now, is that deprivation of law is not a federal felony right now, which it should be. It is a misdemeanor in all 50 states right now, which is absolute bullshit. And the only reason it is that thing, by the way, is because the fucking asshole political class in this country refuses to up it to a felony because they know that their asses would be citizens arrested after the fact for doing exactly that, trying to deprive Americans of our constitutional right to keep and bear arms in this country. So, which, by the way, if I do become governor of the state of Ohio in the next couple of years, bro, like, oh, buddy, you are going to see that be a top priority for me in the state of Ohio then, dude. Is going to be literally upping deprivation of law to a state-level felony in the state of Ohio, is what it will be then. And I will personally go citizens arrest a whole bunch of the General Assembly at that point. They're all Democrats that are pushing anti-gun bullshit since then, dude. So, anyway, it says 8th Circuit decision could come sometime in August. Said, well, the 8th Circuit panel said the state can't enforce the law above. Ellison's office said the law remains in effect as the lower court ruling stayed the laws, overturning until the appeals process is complete. Tuesday's petition extends the process. So in 2021, a group of gun rights groups and people under the age of 21 challenged Minnesota's age limit for permits to carry, which, first of all, you shouldn't have to get a fucking permit to carry a firearm in this country, dude, because we should have constitutional carry nationwide 18 to whatever the fuck at that point, dude. Like 18 until you're dead, basically, is what it is. So that's like 95, 96, 100 years old, whatever it is there. It says, arguing it violated constitutional rights people legally considered adults, because it fucking does, dude, that's the entire point. It says, one of the plaintiffs, Kristen Worth of Melee Sacs County, said she wanted to carry a handgun for self-defense over concerns about crime and fears about walking alone to her car after closing down the grocery store where she worked. It says last year, a Minnesota district court found the state's age limit of 21 to carry a gun in public was unconstitutional. State appealed the case, but a few weeks ago, the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the lower court's decision. So these groups prevailed under the new precedent set in the 2022 Supreme Court case, New York Pistol Rifle Association versus Bruin, aka the Bruin decision, which called for a new judicial test that expanded the scope of the Second Amendment, which protects the right to keep and bear arms. It says ordinary law-abiding 18 to 20-year-old Minnesotans are ambiguously members of the people, wrote Judge William Dean Benton of the court's opinion, joined by judges Levinsky R. Smith and David S. Strauss. So because the plain text of the Second Amendment covers the plaintiffs in their conduct, it is presumably constitutionally protected. It says piece of shit Ellison asked the appeals court to revisit the decision in light of another U.S. landmark Supreme Court gun ruling in June, which was U.S. versus Rami. Since the Supreme Court gave new guidance of elevating gun law challenges in that case, which upheld a prohibition on domestic abusers possessing guns, which, by the way, was a fucking bullshit ruling entirely. Ellison, you fucking know that, you sack of shit prick. So the case should be revisited, the Attorney General argued. It said 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, first appeals court to overturn a state law restricting possession to people 21 and over. Oh, 8th Circuit was the first court of appeals to overturn the state law restricting people's possession 21 and over. Ellison noted, so Minnesota enacted its permit to carry law in 2003. So basically, 21 years ago, it created an unconstitutional law that shouldn't even be in the books right now at all, is what it is, dude. Yes, his applicants must take an approved firearms training course and apply to the local sheriff's office. Sheriff's office investigates the applicant's background before deciding whether to issue the permit. Minnesota's permit to carry law allows for concealed and open carry of firearms. Other states, such as Wisconsin, North Dakota, allow for open carry of firearms under certain conditions without a permit. See, this is the problem I have with this fucking state entirely, dude, is it would be one thing if this is a concealed carry permit, but it's not. It is a permit to carry at all, which is completely unconstitutional, dude. And always has been. Enough is enough of this fucking shit, dude, seriously. And this is what I'm saying, dude. Like, these groups, like that Minnesota Governors Caucus, sue the shit out of Keith Ellison by name, people. Bankrupt that fucking cunt into the ground. Oh, and by the way, expose his direct fucking ties to Antifa and BLM terrorism in this country and put that fucker away on criminal charges then too on top of that. That's how we win this fucking race, people. That's how we win this country back. That's how we get our country back to the constitutional republic that should have always been in this nation. And it's as simple as that, really. End of story. Anyway, that's about it for now. Like I said, I'm going to be back probably later today. I got some stuff in about an hour, so I got to finish here for the game I play. And then it'll be after that I might do something, depending. It'll probably be like 5, 6 tonight if I'm doing anything at all. So, which most likely will be a Oathbreakers episode then about Mazahirina specifically, and then other anti-gun little stupid cunts like her and shit. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that Mazzy is still a sitting U.S. senator right now, dude, when this old bitch literally walked out on a hearing a couple years ago to go take a piss while there was a video playing of Antifa's terrorism during the 2020 rioting. Like, that alone should have seen her removed from office right then on the spot, dude. And this is what I'm saying. This is why we need to have a 20th Amendment of the Constitution of auto DQs in this country, dude. Automatic disqualifications across the board right now. If you're going to sit there and oath break and deny people's Second Amendment rights, and you're going to push anti-gun bullshit, if you're going to push anti-life bullshit in the form of abortions, etc., you're done. You're gone, dude. You're gone from office, and if you're even running for office, you're gone from that fucking political race entirely then. Get fucked, get the fuck out of here. And you're lucky if we don't strip your U.S. citizenship after the fact, if it is then. And toss your ass to some fucking random-ass island across this fucking earth, that is what it is. Like a no-go island or something like that then. Some uninhabited shithole or whatever the case be. You know, it kind of does make me wonder, Because obviously there was that Tremors movie called Shrieker Island. It would be interesting if there was a place like that, honestly. And I wonder how many of these people would be like, okay, I'm pro 2A now. Because they would like grab a gun and like try to kill one of the Shriekers and stuff like that. I don't know, it'd be kind of funny though. But either way. Yeah, fuck them though, dude. They're a bunch of scumbags. Bloomberg specifically is the biggest fucking piece of shit of all of them, dude, is what it is. And that Nazi son of a bitch needs to be in jail right now, dude. 100%. Because all he's doing is funding candidates that have no business being in office in the first place. And without his fucking financial backing, would never be allowed to run, would never be able to physically run for office themselves because they couldn't afford to actually pay up the fucking fees and stuff like that to get in the race, or be able to afford commercials to go out there and make themselves a known entity and stuff like that in these races. Is what it is. So yeah, it's time to cut that fucker off at the goddamn nuts at this point, financially, and remove his ass from ever funding any other race outside of the state of New York. Is what it is then, dude. And if he's going to keep doing it, then fucking arrest his ass. What it is then. Arrest him and freeze and seize every single asset he has right now, dude, for literally ties to terrorism. What it is then. Because that's what they are, dude. They're a bunch of fucking terrorists. When you are funding a bunch of anti-gun people who are trying to steal Americans' gun rights away from them, you are literally funding tyrannical terrorism in this country. And I don't know about the rest of you, dude, but I'm fucking goddamn sick and tired of tyrannical terrorism in this country. By the way, in about an hour from now, we're going to now have a new shirt on the shirt store that literally says tyrannical terrorism must end. So, but yeah, other than that, though, that's what I'm at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant, always be careful, because you never know when anti-gun pricks are going to try to steal your gun rights. And you never know when the fucking terrorists are letting into our border are going to try to kill you, especially when you now have stuff coming out that a bunch of Venezuelan gangs who have illegally invaded our country are now being given the go for kill orders to kill cops in this country. So, yeah. If you see a police officer in this nation that's a buddy, man, like, have their six, man, seriously. Be like, hey, dude, I got your back just in case something does happen here. So, you tell them what's up, basically. The good ones will actually thank you. The other ones will probably just arrest you, is my guess, honestly. So, they're a bunch of oath-breaking assholes. But either way, hopefully it'll save some people then. And yeah, given that we had the Iranian leader of Hamas killed yesterday, I would not be surprised if there's a terror attack by the end of this week, honestly. Like sometime between today and like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, really is what it is. So, yeah, shit is not good, man. It's not good, and it's not getting any better. And like I said, it's time for people to up their carries, it's time for people to get their shit together. And you got to be armed at all times, dude. Like, enough is enough. Like, stop being stupid. Carry guns. Like, arm yourself against violent criminals that don't belong in this country. Literally, end of story. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. Later.